Good morning, everybody, and welcome all councillors and members of the public to the latest meeting of North Northamptonshire's executive, including all those who are watching online, and welcome them specially. And members are reminded to keep your microphones muted unless invited to speak, and if you could put your laptops on silent as well, and your phones, that would be most appreciated. So we move on to item 1, apologies for absences.
There are none, Chair, amongst the executive. Councillor Brackenbury has his hand up there.
Councillor Brackenbury.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good morning, everybody. I'd like to pass apologies from Councillor Wendy Brackenbury. Can't make it today, thank you.
Thank you very much for that. They will be noted. Any further apologies? No, jolly good. So item 2, minutes of the meeting held on 12th of January 2023. They are on page 5 to 16 of the agenda pack. Are there any comments within regards their accuracy? No. Okay. Can I have a mover then and a seconder to approve those minutes? Councillor Harrison's moved. Councillor Edwards has seconded. And can I have a show of hands, please? That's brilliant. So they have now been signed. Item 3, members' declarations of interest. Are there any declarations of interest from members? Councillor Edwards.
Thank you, Chair. On item 6, the security services contract, I have a personal and prejudicial interest, so I will leave the room whilst that's being talked about.
Jolly good. Thank you very much, Councillor Edwards. Any further? Councillor Lorman.
Item 7, concessionary travel. I'm in a position of control of a recipient of concessionary fares, so that's prejudicial. I'll leave the room. And item 11, determination of admission arrangements. I'm governor of a maintained school, but that's only a personal interest.
Okay, thank you very much, Councillor Lorman. Any further? No. Okay, so we move on to item 4, which is notifications of requests to address the meeting. So I have on item 5, Councillor Anne Lee, and item 6, William Cocoon. Item 7, Councillor Maxwell. Item 8, Councillor Maxwell. Item 9, Councillor Lynn Buckingham, Anne Lee, Robin Carter and William Cocoon. And item 11, Councillor Maxwell. Item 12, Councillor Maxwell and Lynn Buckingham. And on item 13, Councillor Buckingham and Councillor Lee. Okay, so we now move on to agenda item 5, which is the performance indication report. I would like to invite Councillor Anne Lee to address the meeting. Councillor Lee, you have a maximum of 3 minutes.
Thank you, Chair. The first one of the 2 points I wanted to draw to your attention is on page 40, and it is the 2% that you can see in the breastfeeding rates. Now let me see. No, it's something I've mentioned before, the quantity of the population, 2% of in-year eligible population who received an NHS health check. I will keep pointing this out because I will never accept it as the new normal. We need our GP services, our health checks. The mortuary and the moratorium cannot keep up with a higher number of deaths which can no longer be attributed directly, perhaps indirectly, to COVID. The second figure I wanted to point out is 46%, and that is the breastfeeding rate at 6 to 8 weeks, which has dropped yet again. And if you check next to it the writing, which is in font 4, so it's hard to read, so I'll just read it out for you. Local insight is indicating that poverty is contributing to an increase in breastfeeding. Now, what I call for is a campaign to educate mothers about the fact that breastfeeding is the best start for their babies, not just because it is free, but because breastfed babies have a lower risk of asthma, obesity, type 1 diabetes, and sudden death syndrome. Only this week, the British Medical Association published a report to show that most health claims on formula milk are not backed by evidence. So I've been attending all the lab meetings, but there's no mention of breastfeeding there. There is a mention of child poverty. So what I call for is a campaign to educate mothers about that, because the Breastfeeding Peer Support Service continues to support the work, but Public Health are developing an emergency infant feeding pathway to support parents in poverty unable to afford infant formula. I think we need to educate the mothers as well as provide free breast milk about this. It seems to be a gap in the services. We never talk about it. The labs don't talk about it. So I would like some more work to be carried out on that. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you very much, Councillor Lee. I would now like to invite Councillor Bunday to introduce the report, please.
Thank you, Chair. I'm sure that Councillor Harrison has listened to Councillor Lee's comments, and I will rely on Councillor Harrison to respond either during or after this meeting. Key performance indicators are one way of benchmarking how this council is performing. They allow this council to measure how well we are delivering against our corporate plan. It is prudent from time to time to review what is reported. One of the key indicators is the level of vacancies that this council is holding. This information is reported from our ERP system, which records all posts for the council and enables colleagues to request leave, make changes to personal details, review payslips, etc. It also enables managers to understand how many posts they have in their structures and how many vacancies they hold. On vesting day, the system was loaded with all posts and data from the legacy authorities. This included around 700 vacancies. Indeed, it originally included the number of members before the May elections in 2021. Although there has been some fluctuation since April 2021, it has not dropped significantly. If this figure had been accurate, the forecast against budget would report a large underspend. This clearly is not the case, and although we are seeing slight underspend within the forecast, the number of vacancies is most certainly erroneous. To this end, it has been decided to briefly remove this figure from the report while we enter into a process of cleansing. It is envisaged that this process will take up to 6 months. Staffing budgets will not be affected by this, and managers will still be able to recruit to posts where they are needed, and we will continue to report other staffing data such as sickness. I'm sure that individual portfolio holders will want to comment on their own areas within this report, but just from the areas that I am looking after, the response to freedom of information requests have improved but are still below target. Data breaches continue to fall, with no complaints needing to be referred to the Information Commissioner's Office. Registrations of deaths within 5 days is still dropping. Some of this is probably due to the fact that the report covers the Christmas period, and this time of year sadly brings more deaths than normal. We are also reliant on the informant informing us in a timely manner, which isn't always the case. By contrast, registrations of births reported within the required time has improved. Customer complaints have reduced, but again, it was Christmas. Complaint escalations have gone